Good.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, welcome back to Is It Though podcast and all those favorite YouTuber things. Like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. Today, we got a old friend of mine, old buddy. We haven't talked in, damn, how long has it been, man?
Man, years. I think we walked brushed paths along the way once at Tipsy and Harlingen one time just so happened to be. No, that was 4 years ago too, or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, who are my manners? Nick. Sorry.
What's up?
What's up? Man? Long time friend. Guys, just to jump right into it, man. For me and the 4-2, everybody, the people that have seen the podcast, everything originated essentially from the church, but not to get into much of that. But that's just where we met. We met it was because normally it would be me, you, the 4-2, and then Justin. Remember?
Yeah, dude. No, that was the boys only group, man.
Dude, man, those are some wild times, man. I want to get Justin on the podcast just to see what he's up to. But yeah. Man, from there, man, I was my brain is blanking. From Pastel, the boys only group. I mean, we can get into it. We don't have to really get into it. I don't know if you.
Yeah, that's probably the big thing, because honestly, that was where we all kind of where we met. And honestly, I'm running a blank on how exactly we met. I think you just kind of randomly joined the group, because I don't know if you were in it right away. But man, we hit it off. We were like buds, dude. It was a lot of times me and Jocelyn. You don't remember just being at my apartment at my pool.
Dude, we go swimming at your pool, dude, and dude. It was me, you, and your little brother, dude.
Oh yeah, my little brother too. It was some fun times, man. But it was mainly all that. I mean, a lot of it was us hanging out at the church. It was a big part of us hanging out. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I can't even remember how long it was into that, but then I ended up leaving, and then everything seemed so different afterwards, though. So completely different. Because I came back periodically, and then when I come back, everything was not the same as it once was. Mm-hmm. So it's weird. It's weird, when you're, because we were pretty. Think about how I am now, because compared to how I was in the church, mm-hmm. I feel like it's polar opposites. Not in a bad way, though. It's just
we change. I'm not the same person I was from the church. Because it's just
no,
it's just life. It doesn't make us a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a horrible thing.
We grew. Yeah, we grew. And I mean, I was super young then too. That had to have been more than 10 years ago for sure, because I was maybe 12 or 13, probably a little older, but we were young. You were in high school too, or yeah.
It sounds so horrible when you put it like that.
I know, dude. You don't think until you actually started thinking about it.
I'm gonna have FBI knock on my door. Let me open up.
No, yeah, because I was literally a couple minutes ago, or an hour ago, I was watching Joe Dirt, and then I was just looking up. I was like, "Oh, who's in this movie?" And I look it up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this movie came out in 2001."
Dude, time is just dude, slow it down, man.
I know, and then there's a decent age gap between us too, so it's kind of weird that our friendship could have only have been within that church, because there's no other way that we would have met each other. Exactly. Because like I said, I was a kid. I was young. In terms of age difference, I would say, Joel and his little brother. Mm-hmm. That's our age difference right there.
Yeah.
Because we're both the same age. Me and honestly, I'm running a blank on his little brother's name.
Daniel. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's I'm trying to remember, I remember you leaving the church. I don't remember exactly when we lost contact, because like you said, you're basically like my little brother the entire time. That's basically how I saw you, like my little brother, because we were always at the hip, it was being you 4-2, Justin, and we always get into trouble, always hang out after school, and just.
Yeah, man. It was weird. I think I can't even remember the years that we were in at the church, but I don't know if you remember even our trip to Beaumont.
Yeah,
The first time, dude.
Yeah, I want to get into that because, like, I don't know what you remember from the first trip because I know, like, religion aside, but just the experience alone of actually going, like, in like, like to Beaumont and seeing something and experiencing that, it was kind of. I don't want to say life changing, but it sticks with you. You know what I'm saying? Like the laughs, the funs. And was it
Dude,
the first time when I jumped off the bridge and almost drowned? Was it that time?
It was the first time, and I remember you saying that you were like completely scared to even do it. But and it was like a what's the parameters in cursing? I don't want to slip up. But the parameters in cursing on this.
You can curse. I just bleep that post. It's fine.
Okay. Well, it's because like I probably won't even curse. But the way you did it. Oh yeah, I'm going to. Like no given. Like as soon, like you were scared. You were like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But then you're just like and then just whew, you just flew off the freaking bridge, and it was pretty high, man. It was a pretty high bridge, and there was one.
It was that classic, like saying, like, "Oh, your friends jump off a bridge? Are you gonna jump off a bridge?" Yeah, I jumped off the bridge because my friends jumped off the bridge.
And I was there off onto the side, like I was scared. I couldn't swim, and then the funniest thing. And I mean, it's funny now. At the time, it was scary as shit.
Oh yeah.
But the funniest thing, it was like you're getting up. I can't swim.
Well, the thing was like everybody. I think just his brother Jared was like diving away from the current. And my luck, I got stuck in the current and I couldn't swim. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die right now. Freaking drown.
This is it. This is the end of our trip. That was great, man. That was great, but I was
out of nowhere, pulled me out, and then
dude,
that conversation was just afterwards. Like I thought, this is it. This guy's gonna drown. I'm gonna get sued. I'm gonna get locked up, and just like,
because man, he wasn't that old at the time either. I want to say he was like 25 at the time. Jocelyn, he was young. Jocelyn,
oh my
dude, he was young. I was 12. You were probably like what 16 at the time.
16 and 15. Yeah, 16. Yeah,
16. So. Dude, like we were young, and that experience. I mean, like the whole trip was a trip, like literally, because I mean, that part alone was intense. Like we were scared. It was so much fun, but so scary. But
yeah,
I think even Miguel at the time tried swimming to you because he swam. He came back on the boat too because I think he was trying to get you.
Yeah,
but that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun. The food there. Like I wanna go back to Beaumont, just eat the food, man.
Dude, that was
so good.
It introduced to boudin. It's like, dude, all that Cajun food, dude.
I came back just wanting boudin like the whole time. Like it was like, what do you want? I'm like, I want some boudin. Like y'all have no idea. Like that stuff is good.
Dime piece.
Choice.
Good. So choice. So other than me almost jumping from a bridge, what other experience like from there have you like taken away from that trip?
Oh man, it's just like what positive like attitude, just energy. Giving that to other people can bring up people so much, and yeah, like it ties in with the church a lot. But I mean, not just like because I'm just a different person now. It's hard.
Like same. I'm trying to navigate it and trying to be like, okay, how to say this, but like not be like, not trying to.
Not trying to preach. Yeah, I'm not trying to bash it at all, but it's like it's mostly positive energy, man. You bring out positive energy to other people, it brings them up. And I think what really solidified everything that we had done there that first year, because if you remember the first year, it was just after a hurricane. I think it was Dolly. So if you remember when Dolly was, you'll know how old this is.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. And I mean, they were decimated. Their church was destroyed. And when we go there that first year, like they're in a beat down gymnasium.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And there was like nothing. They had like maybe like 15, 20 people going to those services. And what solidified everything that we had done that year, because that year it was fun. Like it was a lot of fun. Like more than anything. And there was only a handful of us. And I'm going to get into another story right now about that. But
go ahead.
Going back the next year, going back the next year, and then we see like where they went to, because it was only 1 year apart, that first trip and the second trip. And the second trip, we had more people go with us, but they had their church back, that gymnasium they were in. They were using that for the kids. Like, it was total like 360. Everything changed. It was so just giving that little help. I'm sure they had help along the way, but I felt like just giving that little help, it goes a long way. It helps people come out. So positive energy, whether it be with the church or just in general as a person, is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But on a lighter note, do you remember when we were scared in the little crack hotel that we were at?
Oh, dude.
And someone knocked on the door and we had like a little BB gun?
I don't remember. I'm blanking. Dude, I'm trying to remember.
I think it was a guy named Steven, which I think he left like soon after that. I've not heard of him in a long time, but
Steven.
Someone knocked,
Steven, but it's not the Steven I'm thinking of.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen him forever, but someone knocked on our door, and we have to remember that this hotel that we were at was in a wrong part of town. It was a little crack hotel. It was really crappy. And he opens the door, like we have a BB gun, and so he's hiding it behind his back because he doesn't know if he's gonna have to show it or not. And then he opens the door, and it's just someone like, "Hey, you left your lights on your car." He's like, "Oh, okay, crap," and puts the BB gun down. But man, we stayed at like this little rundown crack hotel, and again, we are kids. We're not like remembering it back. You're like, damn. I was 12. You were 16. Everyone was 16. The only old one was Juslin, who was only 25 years old.
I know. It's like not even like I'm like starting to realize that it's crazy. It's crazy.
That trip, I don't know how any of our parents even allowed us to go. I don't know how the church even allowed him. Well, I guess like the church had more faith in Juslin. It was placed well. It was placed well. It was placed well. Dang, it's an insane thing. I don't know if me now would have allowed my child to go to a trip like that. Yeah. But I guess in the name of the church kind of helps everything, you put a sticker of.
But like nothing, like surprisingly, like nothing, like I mean, even though the age difference and everything sounded it's on paper it sounds bad. It looks bad. But nothing bad happened. Like you were saying, it was just a positive thing, and we all there understood. Because we're the ones that went the first year, understood, okay, we're going to come back and we're going to do this, because we kind of led the people that didn't go the last time. We kind of helped them. Yeah. Okay, this is what it's about. This is this. And dude, yeah.
Yeah. And the second time we had a little bit, it was a lot more, it was less sketchy.
Yeah.
We got to stay inside the church. It was nicer. But I don't know. That first time around was crazy. I don't know. Actually, you stayed with me. There was a point where like they had left at night, and I was going to ask you if you had known what went on, but I think you actually stayed at the hotel with me. I think it was me, you, and Steven who stayed in the hotel, and the other guys. I think they went fishing or gator hunting, because there was a lot of
yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was a fun trip. That was definitely fun, and man, that was it, man. I mean, me and you, we went back that church, and it doesn't feel that long, but if I remember back to my childhood, like all I can remember is me, you, and Juslin, and this, like hanging out. The church was like the thing, and I know I would go over to your place every now and again. We'd play some Halo 3,
dude, heck
dude. Hell yeah. and Guitar Hero, man. Who can forget Guitar Hero?
It was Guitar Hero. That I don't know where you're on was still when Rock Band took off, dude.
Rock Band, man, that was fun, dude. And that's kind of what pushed you into playing guitar too.
Yeah,
because I think you got the Guitar Hero and then Rock Band, and then you actually learned how to play guitar. Well, like I'm sure, like the game didn't teach you how to play, but you went out and you're like, I'm gonna learn.
You got the itch. I think that's a good kind of segue. Good shots, me being a host. Segue into so like. Past the point after all that, because there's a big gap. Like we kind of stopped talking because what happened, and now I know if you got into music and you started a band, right?
Yeah.
You want to give a little like the gaps that like led to that?
Yeah. So after the church, I want to say I left probably my like in the middle at my 8th grade year. I would say for sure my 8th grade year schooling, and we lost contact because at that time, if your younger viewers don't realize that we didn't have phones all the time. You know, I didn't have a phone until I was in high school, really, because my parents didn't want to give me a phone, and even with the phones that were out there, flip phones, but you know, we didn't have phones, so there was no way to keep in contact, and we had like MySpace, but
like MySpace and little phones like this, and just like
yeah.
there was no FaceTime, there was no like
no, and even at that point too, like internet is not as readily accessible, or like I don't know, not everyone thought they needed it, so we didn't have it. We lost contact, and so it was 8th grade. I was just kind of going around. It wasn't until I got into high school, like the previous year in going into high school, I had gotten more and more into music and different music, because in the church you're listening to Christian music all the time. Without a doubt, some cool bands that are in there, dude. Casting Crowns, honestly, probably still a good band, but I'm gonna start getting into heavier stuff.
You went with you? Did you go with us? We went to go see Disciple, that one church with me and Oscar. When me and Oscar went like crazy in that green truck with Pastor Pignon. Like
no, I did not.
Oh, because I think Toby or Miguel put on Modest Yahoo, and me and Oscar just started shaking the truck, like, let's go, like just going crazy, just freaking out Pastor, like they, like, you know, that green bus that they had, right? Like, just shaking it, like, let's go, and dude, at the Disciple concert, like picture, like, you know, you've been to like a Christian concert, it's like holy, and then you see me and Oscar in the corner, just like a full on mosh pit, let's go, dude. Hey,
dude, it's so great.
Fun. It was fun, dude.
Dude, and it's so hard to like come back from that too. But like a lot of the stuff that we did with the church, as ridiculous as it sounds to some people, were really, really fun. Like spring break camp, dude. Do you remember that? Staying at the church for a whole spring break. That was fun as hell.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's kind of like those once in a lifetime things. It's like it's gonna go once, and once you go that first time, bam, it hits, you know?
Yeah, dude. I still look back at all those memories like really fondly, because they were fun.
Yeah.
They were really fun, and you can't get that time back, and it's crazy. I wish you can go back to do it, but no. But past that, to go back to it.
Yeah.
So I got out of that music and I started listening to more heavier stuff, crazier stuff. It was I think I was on a trip going to see my brother in San Antonio, and I had a CD player, and my sister had her CDs, and I was flipping through them, and I picked up a CD. I was like, oh, what's this? And it was Pantera, Vulgar Surveyor Power.
Oh, nice.
I clicked that in. I pressed play. Automatically, I got hooked. I listened to the whole thing, and I looked at my sister's CD case. She said she just so happened to have Cowboys from Hell, the album that came before that one. Ooh. So I listened to that one, and it got all in my brain. I just kept listening and listening and listening to it nonstop on the CD player.
Mm-hmm.
I went home, and then at that point, we had internet, so I was on YouTube. I was watching all the Pantera videos I could, everything I could possibly, a lot of live performances, and I was like, you know what, man, I want to be in a band like that.
Yeah.
And my cousin at the time, he had started playing guitar, and he was into heavier music. So I was like, bro, we got to start a band. So I never really played an instrument. I did like to sing, and that was like apparent when we were playing Rock Band. I was always have the microphone.
Yeah.
I wanted to sing. So we got into that, and it just blasted off from there. I mean, not really blast off, but like from 9th grade to maybe 12th grade, we were just in this little room.
Just started working.
Really, yeah, just working on it and just playing. And actually, one point between that time frame, we actually played a show at the church over there. Yeah, it was. I think Toby was throwing it actually. So he was throwing the show, and he was like, "Bro, you gotta play. And I was like, "Dude, I only have it's only me and 2 guitarists. We have one song. What do you want us to do?"
Mm-hmm.
But he was very adamant, man. He was like, "You have to. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. You're gonna play." Yeah. So we went. We were nervous, but he pushed us to play, and he kind of helped us just kind of get out of our own heads and just it doesn't matter. It's fun. Just play it. Just do it. So, man, Toby, rest in peace, man. He was integral.
I've always said, like, even though, like, as you know, like me and Toby, we never really saw eye to eye. Like, we always like went back
Mhm.
and forth. But I respect that man so much, man. Like you said, like he pushed people to do like, hey, don't think about it, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. And he was really like
Mhm.
this musician. I would hear stories like because he was in a band with Miguel, and they would be
Mhm.
playing to like nobody. They would have shows they played to nobody, but they would go all 100% all out, like they're playing a full stadium. And like, man, I just always respected him, man, for that. And just like it's just his character, man. But yeah, man, rest in peace, man.
No, yeah, it helped us so much, and so we kept doing whatever, and uh we finally were able to start playing shows. We got the full band together, and it's been fun. It was fun. We were called Abandoned Parish, and we have one song. We were able to get one song recorded.
Is it on
Um,
Spotify, iTunes? Where can people find this? So I
it's
can
on
plug
it's
it.
on YouTube. It's
Okay.
on YouTube. You can check it up on YouTube. Just look up Abandoned Parish. It's should be the first thing that pops up. Debilitate is the song. It's pretty dope. Got to give a shout out to my boy John Magrano. He's the one who recorded us. And it is just a lot of fun doing. And we spent probably like from early 2009. We stopped playing around 2016. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
2016 was probably like our last run through, but it was fun. It was about almost 8 years. 7 a little bit. But it never really leaves you. You play music and it's always there. So no matter what
100%.
you end up going to, you still always come back to it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, now, although I'm not doing the band, I still write music. I play acoustic. I have my own music that I write. I've done a couple of shows, just me, and I've actually written a couple songs for my girlfriend's band, OK Robot,
Go, man.
which is
Go.
that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, man. And you never stop. I don't know. Like even you, I know you do a lot of different things. I'm sure you have a guitar there, or think about playing guitar.
Yeah, when it comes to playing music, before I jump into that, I want to ask you, okay, so how was it like when you do your first live show? Like after you, like, let's say you put a single out and you're playing your first, like your show with like people that are there to watch you. How was that experience, like doing shows? Do you get like the guts, like the bubble guts, like, oh no? Or is it just like, all right, so what I want to do? Hey, let's go. How is it, dude? Like, 'cause I see that, and it's like, dude, I want to know what it feels like. That's like, shout out to Nacho Libre, dude. Let's go, dude.
So when I first played a show, it was just a random house show, and it was fun because it was like only supposed to be. We were supposed to be the first or second band up, so we were like, "Oh, okay, it shouldn't be that many people there." Like, beginning of the show, it's gonna be fun, but you do still get nervous, man. Like, everything's like all there in your gut. You're like, "Oh, I kind of want to throw up and poop at the same time, but I can't do that right now," and I'm just trying to get ready. But then they're like, "Oh, well, actually, we got to move you. You're gonna be third from last." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's a good spot." Like, you don't want to be first, you don't want to be last, you want to be in the middle somewhere because that's when everyone is there.
Is there to vibe and just everything's
Yeah, everyone's going. So, man, nervous wreck. You're just outside, like the whole time you're waiting. You're like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. As it steps closer and closer to you, starting to play, you're like pacing. You're like, okay, how are we gonna do? How are we gonna do?
Yeah,
is it gonna go? Is it gonna go? Yeah, man. I want to say though, the most nervous I've ever been for a show. Not even the first one. I think the first one, I was super, super nervous. But we had played a show in Lufkin, which is actually only like an hour away from Beaumont, so it's like in that area.
Okay.
It's and we were playing in a bowling alley, and it just seemed it was like super punk rock. It was just like was fun. But I was so nervous for that show because they were hyping us up playing that night because we were the out of area band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that night, like right before we were playing, like not even right before we were playing, like 2-3 bands before we were playing, my gut was killing me. I was on the ground, like kneeling down. I was like, oh my God, like, am I going to throw up? Am I going to do this? I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. And it's scary. At first you're scared. You're just like, I don't know if I can do this. And then as it comes closer and closer, it goes away. And then it's almost like a calmness. As soon as I step on stage, it's just calm because it's like a light switch. Like once, because when you're talking to me just regularly, if I don't know you, I'm real quiet, I'm real to myself a little bit. But then once I'm on stage, it's the switch. That person goes away and it's somebody new on stage. It's the lead singer of Abandoned Parish who's on stage now. Not Nick. It's the lead singer of the band. So I'm there and I just perform. I don't care what I'm doing. I tell jokes. I'm just the performer at that point. And then once that's done, the switch is back off and it's just calm. And people telling me, hey, what's up, man? That was a great set. I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks. And just to myself again, but it's a switch, especially when you're a performer, you know it because it's a switch. Like, I'm sure it is like that too for you. Being on this podcast as opposed to you being out there in real life. Maybe, you know, you're high energy right now. You're great. You're like, you're this big ball of energy. But you know, when this is over, it's like a switch.
Yeah.
And you're like,
more like I'm reserved, like the quiet reserved.
Quiet reserved. Because I mean, at least I'm not sure now or how you are now, but I know back then when we were younger and we were kids, you were kind of a reserved person. Yeah. You know, you were more to yourself, and I mean, around your friends and everyone, you were crazy and fun. And
that's why we got along. That's why we got along.
Yeah, that's why we got along, man. And that's how it works, bro. And but it's just like that. It's the feeling in your gut before a show. It's just excitement building up. Too much excitement sometimes, and it's just rage. Yeah. Oh man. But each show got it gets better and better. Some shows for me were more nerve-wracking for others because it just depends. You know, playing so much first person on the set, you kind of like get numb to it. You're like, whatever. Okay, we're the first people up. For the most part, when you play first, you don't play in front of anybody.
Yeah, because
who's gonna come at the show at the beginning? Yeah. But it's still fun. Like every single time, those are a lot of fun still. Because there's still some people that might be there, maybe the next band, or even, of course, the promoters are going to be there. And those are a lot of fun because it's almost like practice. Because I'm still going all out completely, doing headbanging. And I always looked ridiculous because I had short hair, so it wasn't like anything was flying in the air, you know? I was just shaking my head. I looked like I was having a seizure. But it was it was fun, man. You just have it's still just completely fun. Just like Toby, like you were saying, you know, you're playing in front of nobody, but you go 100% each and every time because it doesn't matter if you're playing in front of nobody. There's always going to be somebody there, whether it be the next band or the promoter, because it's always good to impress the promoter and always be there on time because they're going to book you again.
Yeah, 100%. And like before we got off on this tangent, like, when it comes to music, like I want to get back into music, but it's just like, I don't know. Like I do like my ADHD brain, like, what's okay, I want to make like lo-fi music. No, but I want to make traditional acoustic music. Also, I'm kind of nervous to like put my singing voice out there, dude, and like my rapping voice out there too, because I feel like, I mean, I do like, I'm very self-aware. Okay, I know I do very cringe things sometimes. Like some like shows, some podcasts are better than others. Some jokes hit, some don't jigs. Like some live streams are awesome. Some live streams are kind of like lame. But it's like, do I really need to put more stuff out there? Like, that's gonna fail, you know, because you know it's not that it hurts the confidence, but it's just like, is there a certain point where you're stretched too thin? But like, I would like to put music out there, but I'm nervous, man.
Yeah, and I feel like it's all the same in how you have to put yourself out there. Like either you do a live stream or podcast, because a live stream, it's more than you just playing video games. You know, it's it's you're playing video games, but your personality is along with that. Because that's what you're putting out there. You're putting out your own personality. And I feel like music, you're putting out yourself in a different way. I feel though with music, it's a little bit more vulnerable.
There you go. That's why.
Yeah, it's a little bit more vulnerable because whatever you're writing, depending on what you write, because I mean, some people make music, like parody music. So it depends on what you're trying to write and what you're trying to go for. But a lot of times, music can be very vulnerable. So it can be a little weird putting yourself out there. And I mean, I would just do it. I mean, not even put yourself out there right away, but just play it because that's always therapeutic itself. You know, I would always type out lyrics on Facebook sometimes just because lyric parts are a lot of the vulnerability too. Because what are you writing? What is in your music? And
I got like a list of lyrics, but it's just like like I said, I got like just buckets of stuff, but it's like I feel like it's. Like I said, it is very vulnerable. Like honestly, it is very vulnerable. Like to put certain things out, and I've always think like, hey, what's because you always think, what's my immediate family gonna think about? Like, oh, what's going on? This and that. It's like I know as soon as I release it, I'm gonna get a phone call. I'm gonna be sent to therapy and blah 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 rehab. It's like no, it's not like that. It's just I'm a time, like calm down. It's like
at the time, what's going on?
Yeah,
I know it. I was playing some shows after I had written some acoustic songs. And when I was writing the acoustic songs, I was in a really sad place. So it was like all the music was really sad. So I would always make the joke when I was on stage. I was like, okay, this music's really sad, but I'm happy now. So don't be sad for me. So let's go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll take the free shot. It's good, but just bear with me. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, if it looks like you have all the equipment there to put some music together, bro. I mean, I would do it.
I like low key, I do, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like, okay, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? It's like, I don't know. Maybe
it's hard, man. It took me a while to even because 2016 is when the band ended. It took me about 3 more years after that to finally fully commit to doing the acoustic thing. Cause I'd always told myself, well, I'm going to do acoustic set. I'm going to do acoustic music. And I never did. It took 3 years.
You ever putting that stuff out or like on YouTube or Facebook?
No, I haven't. Well, there is one video of me, but it's not under like my channel or anything. So it's really hard for me to even find. But it's someone recorded my first set. So it's out there somewhere. I just don't know who the person.
Either.
Don't forget to hold on tight. Don't forget to always fight. Out there in YouTube land, maybe you can find it by putting under Nico Valley. But you got me. I have something recorded, but I'm still tweaking it. I have I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
So
because like music is like a big part of my family. Like I know you know my cousin Larry.
Larry?
Yeah, he's my cousin. His band Fiends. I know I want to get him on the podcast. I too I haven't talked to Larry since I was like 5 years old.
Oh God, okay.
But like I want to get him on the podcast. Like I know he has a band too, but like dude,
they're good.
I got like basically I got a Ferrari, but I'm scared to go over 30 miles per hour. I don't want to slip the gears.
Dude, I didn't even know Larry was your cousin. That's crazy. Small world. Dude, small world.
Oh, before we get too far away from like the concerts and music, I have to ask, what was your best experience and best live show, worst live show experience?
I'm gonna go with worst because I got to think about my best. Okay. The worst has to probably be, and I've talked about this. Oh, plug real quick. My podcast also, Bot Life Podcast. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You want to check this out? I do talk about this story too, but
be a friend
on this. And I can't say I hate saying my podcast. My friend Jimmy. Emily, Jimmy, there's what? 5 of us.
5 what?
Jimmy.
What?
And
Spotlight what? Podcast what? Sorry, man.
It's okay. I love that.
Sorry,
But
big stuff.
but Bot Life podcast, dude. Yes, a couple days.
Dude, yes. The Bot Life podcast. Let's go. Check it out.
Bot Life podcast. Check it out. Spotify,
What?
Apple Podcast, and
Sorry, go ahead.
so this band, I believe they were called From Regrets to Romance. They were having this show. It was a festival at a bar and grill. So they were throwing this festival. We got tickets and everything. They were told us to sell them. I didn't sell them. I thought it was dumb. But we go to this show anyways, and it's in this little bar, like this little bitty bar, itty bitty bar. And
okay, like how small?
Everything
like,
was
like 100 square feet, 200 square feet, or like a little.
I'm not good with square feet. I'm not good with that.
2 chairs, 3 chairs, 4 chairs, 5 chairs, 6 chairs.
I'm gonna say like it was very narrow. It was a narrow bar.
Gotcha.
Like it was long but narrow. So like the setup for us was tiny. Like it was a crowded space with 5 people in a band.
Like
so the drums,
essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we were like almost the width of the whole bar. There was probably like a little bit left over for the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't that much. It was real small. But so we go up there. Everyone's played their set. We're probably the last band to go up. And we're setting up. We're getting everything all ready. And right before we're setting up, the promoter, the kid who was during the show, he's like, "Hey, sorry, I gotta tell you this, but y'all can only play 3 songs. We got a DJ who's gonna come up." And so they cut our set like in half, basically.
Damn.
And I was completely pissed off and livid. I was like, no, this is dumb. And I was mad because this was in Edinburgh, and on the opposite side of university, like around the church, not church, the courthouse. So I had driven to Edinburgh all the way from Lyford. And so I was like, I drove all the way over here. I've been at the beginning of the show so I could watch all the bands. And now I'm about to play. And you're telling me that I only have 3 songs.
Cut me off?
Yeah, you're going to cut me off. So I was pissed, man. I was so freaking mad. Dude, I was mad because of so many things. I wish I could have. We played our 3 songs. After we were done with the 3 songs, I told off everybody. I told off the promoter. I was like, nah, I'm done with this. This is dumb. Like I hope y'all have
mid song. You're like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
I wanted to do something like that. I wish I could have done something like that, but I also felt a little guilty because there was a kid in the freaking place. But I was like, this is stupid anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope you have a good fucking like. Yeah, and a bar girl. Like it was more of a bar. It wasn't even like, I don't know. It was a bar. Get the out of here, lady, with your little kid. But I just told her. I just told everyone like, I hope you have a good rest of your. We're gonna have a better show at the next place over here. I wanted to drop the mic and just like chat, like just destroy it. But I knew the guy who was doing sound, so I was like, I know this is your. I even like, and that was my buddy Jimmy, the one who does the podcast with me. He was at that show with
Jimmy.
Me.
Shout out to that song if you get it.
And so with Jimmy, they actually do a really the OK Robot has a really good cover of that song. Song, another song. It's Weezer.
Yeah, okay, band is your girlfriend's band. So we'll jump into that next. So let's finish the story.
I dropped the microphone, but I got off. I was like, "Hey, bro, I know this is your microphone, so that's why I didn't drop it." And right after that, we went to the place right next door. So that was the worst experience, just being there. But what was cool about that was that right before I actually did the set, because they had told us before the set, I ran across the street because there was a venue called the Spark Plug right next door, and they were throwing a show already. So I went over there and I was like, "Hey, do you got any spot for another band?" They cut our spot in half. We're gonna I want to come over here, see if there's anything. They're like, yeah, you can go on after these couple bands. I was like, dope. So went back, did our show, and even when I was getting off, I was like, I hope you have a good fucking night with your DJ, and we're gonna have a better show next door anyways. And I put the mic down, and we left. We disassembled, went across the street, had a better show.
From music. So you said, so now you have okay, now fill me up on the opposite side of other stuff. Because you just said your girlfriend does have a band too.
Oh yeah.
So like how like where'd you okay, not to get too personal because I don't know what you're comfortable telling. Like where'd you meet your girlfriend? I know you have a kid now, right?
Yeah, I do. I have we have a daughter. Her name's
There you go.
Khaleesi. She's almost 2 now. She's great. It's been awesome. But how me and my girlfriend met, well, we're in she's in a band. She's in a band called OK Robot. And we
find YouTube or Spotify.
You can find OK Robot on Spotify, Apple. They have a full album out on Spotify. Listen up on that. It's great. They have a couple singles out that they've done. You can find some of their stuff on YouTube. And they're actually recording an album right now. They're almost done. So be on the lookout for that as well. That's going to be coming out in the near future. Going to release on Spotify, Apple Music. But how we met was actually shouts. Was actually through their we had actually met multiple times through being in bands. Like when my very first show was in 2012 at a place called the Venue House, and they played that same night, and they were on earlier, and we had interacted, not really too much though, but we had known about each other. And then there were shows after that, like the show that I got cut off on, she was at that show too. And I tell them every single time, like, hey, good show.
Yeah.
And we'd seen each other multiple times, man.
I'm thinking of his dad joke in my head that just popped up. That's why I'm kind of like laughing in my head. It's like, I'm thinking of that Blink-182 song, I fell in love with the girl at the rock show.
Dude, I did, because
shout out. Hey.
Fast forward, like I'd seen her every time. We'd seen her at multiple shows, but she swears she didn't recognize me the whole time. But I meet her at her EP release show for her first album. So I go to their show, and we end up locking eyes. We see each other. I was super drunk at the end of the night though. And I was super nervous, and I was going to go to an after party, and her friends were like kind of building me up. They're like, hey, you should ask if you want to ride over there. And like thinking about it after the fact, super creepy, because I drive up there, I roll down and I was like, hey, and I'm in a beat up car, and I'm like, hey, your friends want to know that, I can take you to a ride to that place over there.
I can take you. Get in my car. Yeah.
And she was like, she denied me there. She was like, nah, I'm okay. And I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, stupid, why'd you do that in the car? I'm like, why not even freaking do that? But she ended up messaging me like the very next day. So that little interaction, it still worked. And then we took off from there, man.
Go, dude. Go.
It was crazy. So we met at her show, and then we just took off from there, and then I got to know her band a little bit more, and that's what got me to writing a song for them. So it's been great, and like I was saying earlier, they have a great rendition of that Weezer song. I still can't remember it right now. What is it called?
All I remember is Wrestle with Jimmy. That's all I remember.
I think she said it right now. She hears me, but I can't hear her. What?
Just like, I'm just thinking the time is just like flown by. Like, like all my friends are like have kids now, relationships. I'm over here. Come check out my podcast, bro. Like,
hey, man, I'm in the same boat. The thing is, I have a kid though. Like I have a kid, but I'm like, hey, so check out my podcast. Check out my stuff. I mean, we're all in the same spot. Just the surrounding area might be a little different.
We're all rowing the boat together. We're all in this together.
As long as we're going forward, it doesn't matter. As long as everything's going good, we're good.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, I can't. And she said it multiple times. I just can't hear her because the headset's in my ear. So like she's saying it, I know she's saying it, but I can't hear her. but getting to know, like being with her, and then like getting to know their whole band, that's what prompted the podcast. If we're going in chronological order, like me being with her, because I got to know her guitarist a lot more. His name's Jimmy, Wrestle with Jimmy, and we we hit it off well, and he was the one that was like, "Oh, dude, we should make this podcast. We should just do it." And we had been trying to. And I want to ask you that too, because we had tried multiple times to do it. I think the idea started though with the quarantine, because when the quarantine first hit, I mean, no one's doing anything. We're not playing music anymore. I can't say we, because I wasn't, but they weren't playing music anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're deprived. A lot of artists, and as your cousin too, that we're deprived of playing and performing in front of people. So we want to keep this creative juice going. Mm-hmm. So that's the next thing. Make a podcast as your cousin did, as Jimmy wanted to. And so Jimmy pulled this whole thing together. But our beginning, the only reason why we started, because we tried multiple times, just didn't go. Mm-hmm. But one night we were hanging out and we were just getting drunk. And that's our pilot episode, is our podcast of when we were drunk. I think it was great. It was fun. It's a lot of fun. But I want to ask you, I kind of switch this around. I do want to get something from you.
All right, I'm ready.
How long did it take y'all to plan the podcast? And were there any failed attempts to actually get it going?
Honestly, it was just jump and go. Like the first episode, like I've always had the idea, and Joel mentioned it. Like me and Joel wanted to start a podcast, or start like more of like what I'm doing now. Way back in the day, I used to call it was called What Happened. It was a failed attempt of because we were like limited at the time with technology, because we were filming literally just off an iPad and everything. And so, mm-hmm. but the drive was always there to do it, because I always wanted to do a podcast. I've always wanted to do one. So like when I moved up here and lived on my own, all I would do is just come home and work. And then eventually my sister moved up here. And one day mm-hmm. I was like, because she's into music too, but she's more like really on the, like not really playing, but like more EDM style, like that kind of vibe and stuff. Like, what's like Deadmau5, that kind of like music. But she had a laptop there and we had these microphones. I said, let me get these 2 microphones here and let's just use my camera, which I'm doing right now, which is my phone. And let's just press record, sync it up, like everything edited on the little small iMovie mm-hmm. thing. And so let's just go. And so the first episode was really supposed to be an announcement video saying, hey, we're doing a podcast. And then that from there, that we just blew up. It blew up, and like the idea was like, okay, what are we gonna call it? What are we gonna call it? I'm like, what is a podcast? Like, is it like, 'cause I want to do this. Like, is it though? Like, is it a podcast? Like, wait a minute, is it though? Because like people, it's like a double-edged sword. Okay, like people are like, hey man, that podcast, like, is it really a podcast, or is it just this? And he's like, is it though? Like, hey, it's clever.
Is it though? Yeah, I like it. I like the name, man. I already dug the name when I heard it. Is it though? Because then I like it because it sounds sarcastic.
You're like,
I like whenever someone
bad. Like, is it though? Like,
is it though? Yeah, like, is it like when someone tells you, oh, this is a great movie? Like, is it though?
It's like that hint of sarcasm, but was it really like not to like to kind of hit on like hesitation or failure? It's the failure has always been like, I felt it's always been trying to be consistent, and that's in the very beginning too, because you see like it starts off hot and then it gets cold, and then mm-hmm. it's only natural to get discouraged when you see like YouTube like views go down and stuff like that. But it's like mm-hmm. then again you learn to remember why you're doing this, because you want to do it. It's not really about the views and that kind of stuff,
Yeah, I think that's what scares people so much from doing anything they want to do, is because they feel the failure, or when they start something and they quit so much is because they feel like there's a failure. It's almost like working out to lose weight, because a lot of times you have to remember, and I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but I know because I'm not in any shape whatsoever, but round. But to hide the fat, bro. Hide the fat.
I'm wearing black.
But I know like a lot of people get discouraged because when they start working out, they see some results, pretty quickly, but then they don't realize they're losing water weight. So that's the first way to go. So then it gets harder after that. Mm-hmm. And then you stop, and then you gain it back and you lose it back. So you can pinpoint that like in any little thing that you do, mm-hmm. even in your job, if you think about it, like you feel stagnant. Yeah. But I feel like people would just need to get out there more. Because you don't know what you can do or what can happen.
Yeah.
And I like the way y'all did it, honestly. You know, just no fear, just kind of straight into it.
And there's been like, I think we're going on our third year. There's been a lot of changes. Like obviously it was me and my sister for a while, and then boom, it was me and my sister and her boyfriend, and then now it's just me now, which was kind of a scary thing because honestly, like in December, the thought was, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, we're just gonna quit this and whatever, because they, you know, it's like real life happens and they get busy because they're living on their own now. So it's like, okay, what am I gonna do here? I started this. Slipping aside is like, I can't just like, we come this far. Like, why are we gonna stop now? It's like, let's just go. So hey, full speed ahead. So now here we are. But
man,
most people do get discouraged. It's like writing music, because doing a podcast, it is vulnerable. Like this is like, like even us talking, like this is years of like not talking. Now here we are, and like people like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's trying to think of the words too. It's really hard to pinpoint the words for it, but it is discouraging. Not discouraging in that way. I guess you want satisfaction so quickly. I think that's the problem. You want to get, like, if you put something out there, like the people that stop it, it's because you want that satisfaction. You want to keep going, or maybe it's just not going the way you need it to be. But man,
or like you have like no guests or no nothing. It's just like, okay, I guess I'm riding solo again.
Man, but you got it though. You have a little system, and even doing the live streams, changing that to live stream too. That's a, you know, evolution in the process, because when you're starting off with like 2 people, then 3 people, it makes it easier. But then when it's just you, then it's a podcast / gaming channel. You know, you got that little thing too, and it works out, man. Is if you keep going, it does. That's what the problem is. You just got to keep going, and it's with us too.
Yeah,
we had like recorded 3. I think before we even put out anything on the podcast, we had recorded 3 episodes close to each other. So we had 3, and now I think we've caught up with ourselves, and I think we're on episode 6 or 7. So we've caught up with ourselves. So now we're like, okay, we need to do it either this week or next week. We can't miss it, or we're gonna miss a week.
Yeah,
so
that's a big thing. It's like finding a dedicated day to record, and then hey, have a release date. Bam, bam, bam.
And that's what you got to do. But that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold said so. What? You want to do a podcast? What? What? You go flap your gums about what Triple H is going to do to me? Yeah. Over the top rope? 29 people? You want to have Bud Life? What? It's the what? Clap? What? What?
We need to do it, bro. We need to do it. We need to get something. But we are going to be recording later today.
What?
I think this new one's going to be about, I think we're doing paranormal stuff. I don't know. It's going to be fun. Really, we want to do another a drunk episode again, because they're just fun. Oh, yeah. But the problem is that we gotta. That first night, I had to pull the reins in a little bit because we were all pretty drunk, and I was like, okay, we gotta be a little bit formal. We gotta have some stability in this one. So
I can't go too far on the rails here.
can't get taken off too much. But I mean, if anyone's listening, aspiring to do something, I mean, the best thing to do is just to actually do it. Even if you fail, you never know until you actually get it done. I mean, I've already taken so many fails from just, you know, my music, the Band in a Parish deal, ups and downs, but you never stop. Like I said, you never stop. I never stopped after it actually ended. Mm-hmm. I kept going my ideas, either writing it down, jotting it down, until I finally learned guitar, and now I'm playing the acoustic, and then I'm helping other bands with music. Well, I wouldn't say bands, but helping another band with music. Mm-hmm. So as long as you keep going, but the problem is with that statement for me is I don't fully believe that you ever stop.
No,
like even if you,
it's like that fire that just keeps going. It's like you're firing your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, it's that daily grind that you welcome back to, because sure, we have our careers, our work life, that's its own thing, but that passion to keep doing it, you basically got to keep stoking that fire every day, because no one's telling you to do it, but it's something you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just like that. And even if, like, that's why, like, even if you fail, even if you stop, even if there's a hiccup in the road, it's still always there with you. Mm-hmm. So you can always come back to it. And even if it becomes a hobby, I don't even care. Like, as long as people are doing what they want to do, that's what I care about the most. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're so drained as a society because we don't, like, so many people are done doing what they love to do and they don't ever go back to it. And they're just stuck in, like, either their job, whether it be something they love or not. Most times it's not. You're doing a job and you're just there, and then you're just waiting for the weekend to drink. And yeah, that's all fun and games. That's great. Have fun. But I mean, be happy. Do what you want to do. Like, pick up that guitar, pick up that freaking trombone, pick up something, whatever you want to do, art, music, just do it. Don't get scared, even if you have to do it in the quiet of your home.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
He has that video because, like, now you can't say just do it. Yeah. Just because you can't stop thinking about that video makes it sound ridiculous. But it's what that video is. It's the truth, man. Even if it's not, even if you're not putting it out there for people, I guess that's what I want to say too. Even if it's not in front of anybody, if you do it on your own time, that's going to be therapeutic in and of itself.
Right. Because, like, I've always said, like, not to get too real, but, like, doing a podcast stuff, it is therapeutic. Because in a way, if I was doing a podcast, I would be doing what I used to do, which is basically just become an alcoholic, just drink and just be in a really dark place, and just doing this is really, it's been therapeutic. It's like, okay, now instead of doing that, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's this for hosting? To come back full circle is putting out there that positive energy, because even not even knowing that, hey, that it's making a difference in somebody's life. Because I've always said, you don't know who's behind that lens, and then just see, like, can we come back a year later, and then you're trying to get it
exactly
grow. Let's just see it grow.
Yeah, and that's a perfect, like, going back to the beginning, because it is putting out that positive energy. Like, you can put the positive energy within yourself by doing what you love to do, or even giving positive energy to other people. I mean, that comes back to you. Even if it doesn't feel like it right away, like, you'll be thinking about it in the back of your mind, that made me feel really good. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did this. So, positive energy. This is what this episode's about, really. It's just positive energy is what it's gonna get you forward.
Positive energy.
Believe it. See it.